The old, musty attic was the perfect place for a group of teenage friends to hold their scents. They had all heard of the dangers of playing with a Ouija board, but they were eager to try it out for themselves. As they gathered around the board, they felt a chill in the air and a sense of unease. One of the girls placed her fingertips on the planchette and they all began to ask questions. At first, nothing seemed to happen. They asked if anyone was there, but there was no response. Just as they were about to give up, the planchette began to move. It spelled out a name, Sarah. They all looked at each other in shock, wondering who Sarah could be. They asked Sarah questions and she answered them. She claimed to be a young girl who had died in the house years ago. She told them about her life and how she had suffered before her death. The group was both fascinated and frightened by Sarah's story. As they continued to ask questions, Sarah's responses became more erratic and sinister. The planchette began to move faster and more violently, spelling out words like die and pain. The group tried to say goodbye and end the session, but the planchette wouldn't let them. It continued to move on its own, spelling out ominous messages. Suddenly, the room grew cold and the planchette flew off the board. The group screamed in terror as a figure appeared before them. It was the ghost of Sarah, angry and vengeful. She began to wreak havoc on the group, causing objects to fly across the room and the furniture to shake violently. They were trapped in the attic with no way out. The group realized they had made a grave mistake in playing with the Ouija board. They were now at the mercy of Sarah's wrath. They tried to reason with her, but it was no use. She was determined to make them suffer just as she had suffered in life. Hours passed before the activity finally ceased. The group was exhausted and traumatized by the experience. They vowed to never play with the Ouija board again, knowing full well the danger it posed. But the memory of Sarah's ghostly presence haunted them for the rest of their lives, a constant reminder of the consequences of playing with the unknown forces of the spirit world. The group of friends tried to dismiss what had happened as a coincidence, but the strange occurrences continued. Objects would move on their own, strange noises could be heard in the middle of the night, and one member of the group even claimed to have seen a shadowy figure lurking in the corner of the room. As the days went by, the group became more and more on edge, and they realized that they had made a terrible mistake in using the Ouija board. They knew they had to find a way to break the connection they had made with the spirit world. One of the group members decided to contact a local psychic for help. The psychic agreed to meet with the group at the cabin to perform a cleansing ritual. When the psychic arrived, they immediately sensed a strong presence in the cabin and confirmed that an evil spirit had been summoned through the Ouija board. The psychic began the cleansing ritual, calling upon the power of white light and asking for the spirit to be banished from the cabin. As the ritual progressed, the group could feel the energy in the room shifting, and they began to feel a sense of relief. Finally, the ritual came to an end, and the group was left feeling drained but grateful that the spirit had been banished. They left the cabin as quickly as possible, not wanting to spend another moment in that haunted place. From that day on, the group of friends never spoke of the Ouija board incident again, and they went their separate ways, each haunted by their own memories of the terrifying experience. They all knew that they had come dangerously close to unleashing an evil force that they could not have imagined, and they vowed to never again mess with the power of the spirit world.